Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Kyle Experience. I wanted to let y'all know that you're in a season where God is going to qualify the unqualified. So let me tell y'all about a testimony about when I purchased my first house, right? So at the time, I was renting a house, and my landlord at the time was using that house as a rental investment property. So she never lived there or anything, but now she was just trying to move on. She wanted money, so she needed to sell the place. So in my contract, I specifically said that I needed to have first right of refusal if she ever wanted to sell the place. And what that means is if you're renting a place and your landlord wants to sell, you can ask them for first right of refusal, where they have to make an offer to you to sell it or give you the opportunity to make an offer to purchase the house before they put it on the market. Well, I did that, and the amount of money that she wanted for the property just was not worth that. So I had to look elsewhere. But at the time, I did not qualify on paper for a traditional loan. I wasn't going FHA, but I was trying to do conventional, where you could put 20% down for the property. I had $130,000 in the bank, but I didn't have the paperwork that a bank would need to qualify you. I didn't have the tax returns. You needed like 2 years of tax returns that qualify you at the amount of money that you're saying that you have. There's certain documentation, certain credit scores, different things that you need, which I did not have that on paper, right? So I reached out to my bank, I reached out to my credit union, and they were like, you know what? You don't have the paperwork that you need, but maybe if you come back in a year, right, in 12 months, you'll be able to qualify for the loan to be able to purchase the house. But I didn't have a year. I had to move out in 30 days, right? And so I was like, oh my gosh, I really didn't want to rent, because the market, I was paying $1,100 to rent, but the market was like wanting $1,600 to $1,700. And I'm just like, why am I putting that much money in your pocket and I have nothing to show for it? And whenever you decide that you want to sell or you want to do something different, me and my family are displaced. So I really did not want to go back into a rental situation, but I was getting knocked back from banks. So then I kind of was referred to like an unconventional route. So I went to like a mortgage lender, and they were telling me, well, your debt to income ratio is too high, because I didn't went to undergrad, I didn't went to law school, I had kids in law school, so I had a little bit of extra loans to help, pay for childcare and different things while I was in law school. So now I'm in a situation where it's like my debt to income ratio is high, so they don't want to give me the money. And so I'm just like, oh my gosh. So at this point, I'm getting exhausted because I'm getting no after no after no. So I went to go look at a house that I actually wanted to buy, but I couldn't get the financing, right? So the realtor for that house actually had referred me to another non-traditional lending company. They were called Supreme Lending at the time. But at this point in time, I'm exhausted because I didn't got like 4 or 5 no's, okay? And my time is dwindling. I got a couple more weeks before me and my children have to be out of this house. So I start looking for rentals. I'm getting denied from rentals, for whatever reason. Eventually, I get approved for a rental, but they want $1,600. And it wasn't sitting well in my spirit. I was just like, that's a lot of money to rent. And what am I getting for that, right? What am I really getting for it? And so I gave them the deposit. I went under the contract, but I had 48 hours to cancel the contract and get my money back, right? And so I'm talking to my husband at the time, and I'm just like, I'm just not comfortable with this. It's not making sense. And he was like, well, what are y'all going to do? You need to, y'all got to have a place to stay or whatever, because my husband was away at the time. And so long story short, I pulled out of the contract, okay? I didn't know where we were going to go. I did not know what place. There was no prospect of a place next, but I just knew I was not going to pay $1,600 a month for something that I was not earning any equity in. I could not wrap my head around it. And so the next day, the Holy Spirit told me to reach out to the lady at Supreme Lending that I was referred to. So when I reached out to her, I said, listen, I need to buy a house. I am not doing FHA. I am doing a conventional loan. I have $130,000 in the bank. I can put 20% down, but I've been denied from banks because I don't have the paperwork. And I said, and my debt to income ratio is high. So I just put it all on Front Street. I put it all out there. And she was like, I don't need any of that. Get me a letter that says how much money you're making. Let me see how much money you have in the bank, and we're going to make it work. Do you guys know that within 24 hours, I have funding? So for the 3 weeks that I was being denied, and making me feel like I couldn't do it, or making me feel like I was unqualified, the Lord qualified me within 24 hours. The moment that I just said, no, I'm not going to do this. It doesn't make sense. I don't know where I'm going to go. I'm going to leap out in faith. Within 24 hours, the Lord made a way. And I had full funding. I'll never forget, we ended up closing on our house within like 30 days. That's a whole nother story how it all came about. But we ended up closing on the house. And my house was approximately worth like about $300,000. And my mom was like, nobody buys a first-time house at $300,000. That's like a forever type house. Now in my mind, I'm like, Mama, this is a first-time house. This is not the forever house, but this is a house that puts me and my family in a position of stability. That was my prayer. My children had said, Mommy, can we please just not keep moving? Can we just have a place that we can call our own? And I thank God to this day, because after they said that, the Lord did that. He gave us a place that was our own. And it didn't mean that we didn't have some trip ups. We didn't get some no's. We didn't get some waits. We didn't get some, no, not this time. You need to wait. But if I believed what man was telling, then I would have been stuck in a rental paying somebody $1,600 a month that I didn't want to do, when all I had to do was take out that step of faith and allow the Lord to qualify me. So this is a season where I'm just saying, really step out in faith. Go into prayer and really dig deep and find out what it is that you're asking God for, and trust Him for it, because this is a season where He will qualify the unqualified. He is the same God today as He was 7 years ago when He did that, as He was from the beginning of time. So listen, I love you guys. And until next time, thank you for tuning in to the Kyle Experience.